Good morning. Welcome to another lecture in anthropology. In the previous lecture, we discussed the traditional basis of Indian social system. We started with Purusharthas and then we continued with Varnashrama. So today we shall be continuing the same chapter. We shall continue with Rina and Rebirth. But prior to that, I would like to answer few questions which I get frequently on these topics. So, what is Varnashrama? Yesterday I told you about ashrama, right? So, the four different stages of ashrama. First one is Brahmacharya ashrama. Second one is Grihastha ashrama. Third one is Vanaprastha ashrama. And fourth one is Sannyas ashrama, right? So, what is Varnashrama? So, many people have this doubt. What is Varnashrama? Varna means color. Okay, so Varnashrama, Varna means color. So how is this related to ashrama stages? So this we will be discussing in the further chapters where we have an exclusive chapter on caste system. What is the theories of origin of caste? What is the caste? What are the characteristics of caste system? What is dominant caste? And all those topics. What is Varna? What is Jati? What is caste? All these things. So there we will be discussing in elaborate about Varna. So once we discuss that, I will be discussing how Varna is related to ashrama, different ashrama stages. So you need not worry much about that. We shall continue about Varnashrama in much depth when we discuss Varna in the caste topic. Then another question most people ask me is it necessary to is it necessary to go through all the four ashrama stages in order to attain sannyas and reach moksha? And is it permissible for women also? Because when we already always speak, even yesterday, like when we were discussing, I told that a boy goes to the brahmacharya ashrama, he receives education from the guru and so on. So some students have this doubt that is ashrama stages restricted only to men? Isn't women allowed over there? Or is it restricted to only few castes alone? Is it possible for anyone to attain moksha? Or is it possible that only you have to go through all these four ashrama stages and then only you can attain moksha? So, what Lord Krishna says is a true karmavadi can attain moksha. That is, what do we mean by karmavadi? A karmavadi is a person who does his karma according to dharma. Okay, so karma means whatever your duties are, that you have to do it according to the principles laid down by dharma. So any person, be it a man or a woman or a person belonging to any caste, okay, so nowhere in any literature is it written that only men or only people belonging to particular caste alone can go through all these ashramas and become a sannyasi and attain moksha. So Lord Krishna says that a true karmavadi, whoever does his duty according to dharma, can definitely become sannyas and he can definitely attain moksha. That is, what do we mean by that? See, as a student, what is your karma? You have to study, right? So as a doctor, what is his karma? He has to treat his patients. So as an engineer, he has to do his work. As a IAS officer, whatever duties, responsibilities, whatever your work, whatever work is given to you, you have to do that diligently according to dharma, right? So anybody, irrespective of whether it is a man or a woman or a person belonging to any caste, okay, they can attain moksha by doing their karma according to dharma. So this is what Lord Krishna says. Only later afterwards, and due to various people started interpreting that these ashramas are meant for only men and these ashramas are meant for only people belonging to certain caste and so on. So all these we shall be further discussing when we discuss the caste topic. So I hope until now you had a proper understanding about Purushartha and ashramas. Now we shall discuss Rina and Rebirth, which is also in the same chapter. Rina. Rina. What do we mean by Rina? Of course, many girls have name called Rina, but we are not speaking about that Rina here. Rina means, according to Hinduism or Hindu tradition, Rina means debt. According to Hinduism, we believe that we are born with certain debts and we grow up with debts. See, these are not the debts which we are taking from banks, be it car loan, housing loan, two-wheeler loan, whatever, gold loan or whatever loans you are taking. Here, according to Hinduism, we believe that we are indebted to various people in our life, be it our parents, be it our gurus, be it our relatives, be it God. So if we are in a, if we have life physically and we are capable of living, that is because of various sacrifices that all these people have done to enable us to come to this position, isn't it? It is the parents who give us birth, and it is a gurus who give us knowledge, and even relatives also help us in many ways. So like this, we are indebted to many people in our life. So why is Rina so important? So the concept of Rina is needed here in the traditional basis of Indian social system in order to bring about responsibility in the human beings or people. Okay, so it is to make a person aware of what are his responsibilities and obligations towards the people who have helped him to come to the stage today, right? So we have debt which we have to repay to our parents, to God, to gurus, and so on. So this concept of debt has been introduced in Hinduism in order to make us responsible citizens and also to make us understand the duties and obligations which we have towards the people who have helped us to reach this stage. So first and foremost, Devarina. What is Devarina? Devarina. Devarina. Dev means God, isn't it? So Devarina means the debt which we are supposed to repay to God. So we are indebted to God, isn't it? So it is because of God only we have got our life and we are surviving. So we are indebted to God, and so we definitely throughout our life we have to repay our debt to God. How do we do this? We repay our debt to God by reciting Vedas, by doing sacrifices, by performing yagnas, homas, okay, and also by showing devotion. So yesterday when we were discussing the various ashramas, in Grihastha ashrama, I told that in addition to marrying, having children, procreation, we are another important duty is there, that is repayment of the rinas, right? So I told you that time that we shall discuss rinas in detail further. So here during the Grihastha stage, it is the responsibility of the person to repay the debts to various people, to God, to parents, to gurus, to relatives, and so on. So Devarina means repaying the debt. That is, we are obliged to repay the debt to God for giving us this life. Okay, so how do we repay that? By reciting Vedas, by doing pujas, yagnas, by being devotional to God, by worshipping Him, okay, by doing sacrifices, right? So these are the various ways in which we repay the debt to God. So that is called as Devarina. Next comes Rishi Rina. Rishi Rina. What do we mean by Rishi Rina? Rishi means gurus, right? Rishi, saints, gurus. So if we have so much of knowledge today, it is because of the knowledge which we have gained from our teachers, gurus, be it in any subject or be it in any art forms, right? So it is not just the formal education like what we get in schools and colleges, even otherwise, suppose you are learning music, suppose you are learning some dance form, suppose you are learning martial arts, right? Or you're learning coding, be it anything. So there are various people who are giving their knowledge to you so that you can acquire that and you can make something out of that. So we are always indebted to our gurus. So gurus, rishis. So we have to repay the debts to all these people. So how do we do that? The, but how do we repay the debts to rishis? By reproducing, no, sorry, uh, by giving guru dakshina and also by perpetuation of knowledge. So you must have noticed that whenever you go to learn some music or art forms, even though you pay the fees, so on the very first day, what will you do? Usually, this is a very common practice which we follow when we learn music or dance forms, right? So when you go to the guru for the very first time to learn the music or dance from him or her, you have a plate into which you place some betel leaves and areca nuts, flowers, fruits, everything, and you go give it to the guru, and then you touch their feet and take their blessings, and then only you begin their classes, right? So this has been practiced since age old times, and even present day also I have seen that many people still follow this practice, because we consider the teacher as our guru and he is giving us knowledge whatever he has. So we are repaying the debt to the guru in this form. Okay, so we can repay the debts to the gurus or the rishis by guru dakshina and also by perpetuation of knowledge. So it is not just that we learn from them and we do not give that knowledge to somebody else. Later, we might also be able to teach that art form or whatever lessons we have learned from the gurus, we can teach it to the other people. Through that way, again, we are repaying the debts to our gurus. Okay. Next comes Pitrarina. Pitrarina means the debt which we owe to our parents, right? So parents sacrifice a lot in bringing us to this earth and raising us, giving us education, giving us food, clothing, everything, right? Until a certain age. And then whatever we are today, it's because of our parents. So definitely we owe a lot to them. We are obliged to repay them for what they have given us and for what they have made us. So how do we repay our debt to the parents? That is by taking care of them, by again we also have to marry and we have to uh, have children and we have to continue the family lineage. Okay, and it is not just having children, we also have to raise them in a responsible manner with values and morals which our parents have inculcated in us, and the same thing we continue through our generations. So this is how we repay the pitrarina to our parents. Okay, so we are indebted to our parents, and how we repay that is called as pitrarina. So we must also take care of them during their old age. We should have children and we should raise them also with the enough amount of values, morals, so that they grow up into responsible citizens and they also continue the family heritage. So this is how we repay the pitrarina. And then next one comes the Athithi Rina. Athithi Rina. Athithi means guest, right? Our relatives, friends, our guests, all these are called as Athithi. We have the famous quote, Athithi Devo Bhava, isn't it? Atiti Devo Bhava. What does that mean? That means our guests are our gods. So that is what we follow in our Hindu culture, isn't it? We treat our guests like God. So whenever our guests come home, we initially we invite them, we ask them to come inside, we ask them to sit down, and we offer them some water or any coffee, tea, or something like that, and some snacks. We inquire about their whereabouts, how they are, whether they are feeling good, and how their family is, what has been happening in their life. Then we also serve them lunch, dinner, depending on the time. Then we also give them gifts when they return, right? So these are the ways in which we are repaying the debt which we owe towards our relatives and guests, right? We can do the best possible hospitality for them and send them with with the gifts. So this is how we repay the debts which we are supposed to give to our guests. So I guess you got a good idea about what is Rina. Rina means debt. So we have four different kinds of Rina. First one is Deva Rina. Deva Rina means the debt which we owe towards God. So how do we repay the debt to God? By worshipping Him, by doing sacrifices, by doing pujas, by doing homas, yagnas, and by reciting Vedas, right? So these are the various ways in which we repay the debt to God, who is the sole and the primary reason for giving us this life. And then Rishi Rina, that means the debt which we owe to our teachers, our gurus, to rishis who give us immense knowledge and make us the person whom we are. So for that we have to repay the debt to them by perpetuation of knowledge. That is, whatever knowledge we acquire from them, we should also teach it to many other people, and we should further continue that chain of transmission of knowledge. And we also repay the debt by giving them Guru Dakshina. Okay, so that is how we repay the Rishi Rina. Next comes Pitra Rina, that is the debt which we owe towards our parents. So that we can repay by taking care of our parents, by perpetuation of Kula, that is by marrying and having children and raising the children in a proper way, and by also offering Pindadan. Pindadan is a very important debt which we do to repay to our parents. So what is Pindadan? Pindadan means uh, usually after the death of the parents, it is the son who is supposed to do the Pindadan. That is, after the death of the either of the parents, what they will do is once in a year there is a festival or a particular day which is celebrated. That is called as Mahalaya Amavase. Okay, it is called. Okay, so usually in South India they do it on this day. So there is this day called Mahalaya Amvase, which happens once in a year. On this particular day, they will invite the priest to come home, and how many ever sons that parent had, all the sons will sit together and they will conduct a puja. Okay, where they make they make balls out of white rice and with till seeds, and they tie some some grass kind of thing over here in the ring, a ring finger, and the priest will tell some mantras, and the persons who are doing the puja, they also recite it. And after the entire puja is done, they offer flowers, fruits and grains to the pandit, and they send him. So this is one way of doing the pindadan. So it is usually done even after the 15th or 7th day after the death of the person. So after the 7th day and 15th day and after 1 month and all, certain rituals are conducted in almost all communities, whichever community you belong to. So after one day after after a week after a person's death, or after 15 days, or after 30 days, and so on, various rituals are conducted, and during these rituals these practices are followed. So now many people do not, at least in North India and all, many people do not do this at home. Instead, they prefer going to temples like Bodh Gaya or Kashi, these places, and there are exclusive priests over there who are specializing in these activities. So you can go there and tell them about when the person passed away and when his birth date was, or even you can tell them the name of all their ancestors also, right? So whenever you're usually doing that puja, the priest will ask the not just the name of the person who has died, that is the parent, his parent, his parent. So how many ever generations of names you know, you can tell them, and the pandit will do all the necessary pujas by the bank side, and he will offer the prasad and he will sell. So even now the technology has improved so much that there's even no need for us to travel all the way to Bodh Gaya or Kashi or any other religious places to conduct this Pindadan. Even Pindadan services are available offline also, online also. So you can just in from any part of the globe, you can book the Pindadan services from the website, and you can make the payment. So so the pandit over there, he will conduct the puja, and he will tell the name of your whosever name you want to do the puja, and he will tell the name of your parents, and he will do the pindadan, and he will send some prasadam to your location. Okay, so that kind of services are also available now. So this is a very important way in which we can repay the debt which we owe to our parents. So it is not just we repay the debt when they are alive, even after their death also, in the form of pindadan, we have to repay the debt not just to our parents, our grandparents, and several other forefathers also. Okay, so this is one more important way of repaying the Pitrarina. Then we also discussed about Atiti Rina, that is the Rina which we owe to our guests. Okay, so Rina topic I guess you have followed. Now we shall move on to the next topic, rebirth. Rebirth. According to Hinduism, we have the belief that Brahma is the creator of the universe, right? So, Brahma created the universe, and he is also responsible for all the creations on earth. So we have this belief of birth, rebirth, transmigration of soul, and heaven, hell, right? So many of you all would have heard all this very frequently. So it is believed that if you do only good deeds in your present life, then you will finally land in heaven. Whereas if you do only bad deeds, then you will definitely land in hell, right? So there are many jokes also where people say, okay, I will definitely not go to hell if my wife is there, or if I will not go to heaven if my husband is going to be there. So like this, we have the concept of heaven, hell. So we believe in transmigration of soul. That is, we have the belief that only the physical body is mortal. That is, whenever death happens, it is only the physical body which dies, and we cremate it. Whereas the soul which is present inside our body, the soul which is residing in us, which is the Atma, that is immortal. That is, Atma has no death. Okay, so Atma, or the soul which is residing inside us, is immortal. So it continues its life again and again. So we have this belief that once a person dies, only the physical body dies, and we cremate it. But the soul moves out of the body and enters into the next cycle of birth in another body. Okay, so this is what we call as transmigration of soul. So what do we mean when we say we attain moksha? So this soul moves out of the body. The concept of transmigration of soul is based on the belief that the physical body is mortal and the Atma is immortal. So, after the death of the physical body, the Atma moves into another body and it continues its life. So, in the case of attainment of moksha, the soul completely escapes and it does not enter into any other life form, and it straight away goes and reaches the Brahma. So, yesterday I was talking about, I was telling you that God is nowhere. You know, entire life we keep on searching, where is God? Where is God? Where is God? But only when we realize that God is within us, we are God ourselves, that is when we can attain moksha. So once we attain moksha, the soul gets liberated from the body, it completely gets away from this continuous cycle of birth and rebirth, and it goes and rejoins with the Brahma or the Paramatma, right? So Brahma or Paramatma is the creator of the universe, and when the soul goes and rejoins with him, then it attains complete salvation or moksha. Okay, so according to Samakya tradition, what is Samakya tradition? Sorry, it is Samkhya tradition. So according to Samkhya tradition, There are around 24 schools of thought in philosophy. Out of that, one school of thought is this Samkhya tradition. So according to Samkhya tradition, there are two types of samadhi. One is Savikalpa samadhi and another one is Nirvikalpa samadhi. First one is Savikalpa samadhi. And second one is Nirvikalpa samadhi. Okay. Savikalpa Samadhi means here the soul will not get liberated. That is, after the death of the mortal body or the physical body, the soul will escape from the body and it will go and continue another cycle of birth through some other organism. Okay. So the soul will get liberated and it will go start another next janma or next birth. That is called as Savikalpa Samadhi. And Nirvikalpa Samadhi means the soul escapes from the mortal body or the physical body and completely it does not go for another cycle of birth. Instead, it goes and rejoins with the Brahma or the Paramatma. That happens only when the person has attained moksha. Okay, so you understood the concept of rebirth, isn't it? So the concept of rebirth is based on the concept of transmigration of soul. In Hinduism, we believe that we have several births. It is not that we are born in this, we have this life and we finish this life and it's over. In Hinduism, we also have believe that we have some 7 janmas, right? So we don't know what we were born as in the previous janma, or if this is going to be our last birth, or if we'll be born again in the next life, and as what we will be born, whether we will be a plant or animal or which living form we will be. So, but we have a belief that we have several cycles of birth and rebirth. And it is said that once you attain moksha, the soul will stop or it will cease going for further births and rebirths, and instead the soul will get completely, it will escape from the earth and it will go and rejoin with the Paramatma, who is the creator of the universe. Then that is called as complete salvation or liberation or moksha. Okay, so these are very simple topics. I hope you understood Reena and rebirth also. So in addition to this, we have one more topic in this chapter, that is karma. So I feel it will be better to do karma at a later stage so that you can have a better understanding. And always you need to keep in mind that in anthropology we cannot learn or study topics as and how it has been mentioned in the syllabus copy. So there will be several topics which will be mentioned in the beginning, but which we'll have to discuss only after for a few more other topics are done. Say I told you about varnashrama, right? So only after we discuss and have a proper idea about jati and caste system, we will be able to understand varnashrama in a better way. So just do not worry about studying the topics in the exact way it has been mentioned in the syllabus. We shall be discussing karma topic in a lecture later. Okay. So with this, this chapter has been done. That is the traditional basis of Indian social system. Now we shall move on to the next topic, uh, the interplay of little tradition and great tradition.